Alright, what is up, guys? So this is going to be a lot different style video than I've ever done before. As you can see, there will be gameplay on the screen, but this isn't just going to be some random gameplay. This is going to be specifically commentating over this game. And as it's loading in here, it's not frozen or anything, I promise. But as it's loading in here, you're going to see the build I'm running is very non-conventional. It's just a build. I'm not going to say I came up with it, because I'm sure people have ran this plenty of times before. However, it's just something I decided to put together this morning to try out. I wanted to try a faster build with a lot of MR. If you guys are familiar with my channel or with the type of builds I run or the content I make, you'll know I ran like a mage killer build a very long time ago, and this is kind of another iteration of that. I was pretty curious to see how it would work, like a really fast build. I'm running like double MR buckler, that type of thing, and I'm running arming sword, a lot of true damage, like 8 true damage to be exact, just to see how well it'll work. To start off with this game, you see I cleared up through the top part of the map. I cleared from top Wraith over here to the top left spawn, and I get here, I find a druid, and then I find a barbarian and a ranger. And if you are familiar with this game recently, especially in solos, a lot of players are not, they're not exactly fighting. There's not a lot of PvP going on in these solo games. A lot of people end up teaming, and it's not like they're running around wiping lobbies together because mostly what they're doing is being friendly. However, if you decide to break off from the pack and attack one of them, then they are become not so friendly, and people end up fighting you. So to start off with, we have a barbarian. Like I said, we have this barbarian down here. There's a druid and a ranger. I inspected most of these guys in the pre-lobby. The ranger and the barbarian are not particularly geared. Their gear's okay. The druid has about 40 strength on a bear form, so once again, his build's not that good. However, I am relatively squishy in this kit, only about 160 HP and a little close, like close to 50% PDR with my shield out. I'm not running barricade, so not getting extra PDR from that. So if this druid goes bear form, he can hit me very, very hard. However, one thing that was in this pre-lobby that I was pretty scared about was another barbarian that was a lot more geared than this one. He had ruby silver doublets, golden gloves, Gremmy's on, legendary bardiche, all of these things. And as we walk in here, you will actually see that the barbarian is right over there on the other side. So I now am in a spot where there are 4 people that are all being friendly, and this is a little bit it's a little bit iffy for me now because I'm now in a spot where because I think I don't want to be friendly here. I'm not looking to AP farm. I'm literally just coming strictly for PvP. And the question is, it's like, how am I supposed to fight when there are 4 people here, and if I hit one person the moment I do, they're going to turn on me? Well, the answer is I have to take a kill where I can get it. And as you're going to see coming up, I'm going to get a chance here soon. So I know the people I want to kill. I either want to kill the barbarian that's really geared in ruby silver, or I want to kill the ranger. The druid's not that big of a threat. One, because I can run away from him incredibly easily because he's not panther build, and two, because he's one of the hardest characters here to kill. Both of the barbarians and the ranger are easier to kill, even though the ranger is relatively fast. The druid has dreamwalk, rat form, all these other things that make him damn near impossible to kill. And if I try to fight these guys, or if I try to get a kill here and I mess up, I'm now in a spot where there are 4 people that are all very, very hostile towards me. And, it's just not a good look. I was kind of thinking I was kind of thinking they might try to kill me here, because the way this, like, ranger was playing, he kind of looked like he was aiming at me. And, so I'm just, like, you see my movement, I'm kind of, like, playing a little weird here, trying not to put myself in a spot where I can get cornered too easily. And then I see the druid and the ranger go over here. I don't see the other barbarian. I turn on my proxy chat here so I can hear what they're saying, because I'm pretty sure they're talking. I see those two go here, and I see this barbarian going on his own. You know, he breaks the door down here with his bardiche, and then he walks in here and he aggro's a skeleton. And I'm like, now is the perfect chance. Pop adrenaline rush. I go on him. I'm full committing to him. And at this point, I see the people here, but I'm like, I need to kill this guy. I get the kill. I immediately back off, and I'm going for the heals. The ranger's taking some shots at me, but it's not really too big of a threat. Also, I bought blue bandages for this, which is like 300 gold for a stack, but they're actually going to come into play pretty heavily. Like, as you see, I popped 2 bandages, and it heals me for almost half my health bar. It's fantastic. But, so I killed one here. Now I'm at worst a 1v3. The other barbarians kind of disappeared. I don't really know where he's gone, so I'm not super worried about him. I see the ranger pushing me. I'm assuming the druid's probably with them, so I go for an invis pop play here. It doesn't actually work out. The ranger hears me. I don't, you probably can't really hear it over in the video, but he voips to me. He's like, "Oh, you're invis potted," because he heard me use it somewhere. So this is kind of a bust. He closes the door, and Instead of going in here, I'm gonna try to look to reposition. I give it a few more seconds just to be sure. Nothing really happens. He's backing away. He is not taking the bait. And I go over towards pyramid. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm kind of worried about potentially being in a spot where I have multiple people running at me and I only have one place to go, especially when there's a druid enemy team. If my only out is a single doorway, I get hit by a treant, a wall, anything, I'm kind of screwed. Well, the wall I can jump now, but treant in particular, I get blocked by that. I'm in a really, really bad spot. Also, I don't like being in library in general just because, people could be up top, they could drop on me, all of these other things that are potentially not very good for me. And I'm just clearing out the bats here so I have more room to play in pyramid if I need to. And I know these guys are all kind of around octopus area. If you don't know what octopus is, it's this room right here. They call it that because there's 8 little paths branching off of it. But so I open one door and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and clear the rest of this. I'll get the other door open. I want to have a lot of different escape routes if I need to, because whenever you're in a situation where you're fighting multiple people, you never want to be like you only have one way to go, right? Because then, if you're backing off and you run into someone or anything could happen, that your exit gets closed and now you're in a spot where you can't do anything. And I'm going to open multiple doors here because on the off chance I have to run back in the pyramid, my best place to run out would be church. Church gives me like a lot of room to play in. Even if even if it's not cleared in there, I can run up top, I can run down below. A lot of doors I can open, a lot of doors I can close, all of that type of thing. And then I'm crouching around, just trying to hear things out. There's a skeleton here, so they're gonna hear me, and one of them walks up here, I believe, with a torch. So I back off a little bit here because once again, I don't know how many people are around here, and this is not really a spot that I want to get caught in if they know I'm here. Like I said, because of that druid again, getting treanted in like a tiny little hallway like that would be an absolute death sentence. Now I'm gonna move around, open up other doors, and I'm gonna go through here and just try to see what I can see because it's either they're going through the other way or they're probably backed off a little bit. And I don't see anything. I'm gonna go check the barbarian here that I killed earlier. Barbarian stripped clean. I do grab some Franciscas off him, I believe. Yes, and grab some more pots. Grab some Franciscas. Check the gear that's left. Nothing good. And grabbing these Franciscas is actually probably gonna end up like not saving me, but it's definitely gonna help me a lot. And now I'm peeking library just to see where these guys potentially are. Because I'm not sure if they're looking for me or if they move back on because I'm sure they're like wary of me. And then right here, this is actually pretty important. I see the ranger here and I hear him voiping and he's talking about the traps that he put down. You see he even put down one there. And this guy's running from me and I'm not sprinting here because there's a door right there and he's just going to close it in my face if I do. So it's not really worthwhile to waste my sprint. I'm not going to catch him anyways. So I do end up chasing this ranger around for a little bit. He takes a couple shots at me. Pop my sprint here, try to catch up to him, and as you can see, he's incredibly fast. I thought I would be able to catch up to him with sprint, but I didn't realize just how fast he was. I'm pretty sure I checked in the pregame, and I think this guy was only like 305 move speed. Right there, I kind of give up on the chase just because I was worried about him running into another team. I didn't want to, or not running into another team, running back to like one of the people he's teaming with. Because I didn't want to end up, like I said, in that 1v2 again if I could help it. Here, I'm going for Speed Shrine because I can see this ranger's faster than me, so any speed I can get will help. Hopefully it'll let me catch up to him and, deliver the finishing blow. And all this time, I'm, like, constantly trying to, like, watch to make sure I'm not, like, getting flanked or putting myself in, like, a bad situation where other people are running at me. Because the Barbarian from before and the Druid I have not seen in quite a while. And whenever you don't see someone solos, that's pretty scary. So I am looking around for this guy right now. I'm going back, hunting for the ranger, back at Octopus, because he's around here. And like I said, I did hear him talking about traps a lot, so I'm pretty much always terrified of traps now. I'm literally walking. The moment I see dark, I, pull my torch out, look, and I find a trap right there, boom, jump over it. Kind of block myself in the corner. Get a Francisca, one arming sword hit, did a little damage. And the ranger tried to block me into the trap there, and if he would have got me, he might have killed me. He does have a windlass, so it's definitely possible. He pulls out that windlass, takes a shot. I dodge it. I mess up here. I accidentally pull up my prop pot. I thought it was Francisca, and this kind of he gets to run a lot farther away from me. I only have 2 Franciscas left, and he's eating biscuits, so he's healing. But once again, pulling out my torch, and I'm walking in the dark, so try not to step in any traps. If I step in a trap, either he runs away from me, or he could potentially kill me. It just would put me in a really, really bad spot. And then right here, I kind of choke, and by kind of, I mean entirely choke. I get this guy trapped in the corner, and I accidentally let him out. I was going to, like, beat him with a torch, and then I scoot over there, and he slides past me. which was very shocking to me, but he should have died right there. But I let him out. And then once again, he's just running back and forth. He's running back to the same trap, and I expect him to try to block me again, so I pull up my sword there to go for the swing. But I underestimate the distance of the trap. I thought it was closer than it was, so I didn't step far enough forward, or I could have hit him there. But that's something that you always have to watch out for rangers. Whenever they're running over traps, like they expect most people, or a good ranger will expect a player to jump right over the trap. And so what they'll do a lot of the time is they'll jump over it just enough, and they'll turn around and they'll body block you into it. So you jump, hit them, and then fall into the trap. And as you can see, this ranger is incredibly fast. I took my chest piece off, and I'm 300 plus move speed, and even with my sprint, I still can't catch him because he's damn near move speed capped, if not capped, with his chest piece off and these Cobalt Lightfoots. And then right here, once again, I'm still permanently walking around my torch out, staring at my feet, terrified. He messes up, runs into a closed door, and I get the kill. I put my chest piece back on, and then I think I hear somebody here, so I'm like kind of like worried about looting this guy. I'm like peeking around because I definitely heard a player. I think I heard the druid here. I'm pretty sure I heard a bear or something. So I'm kind of worried, but then I don't hear him coming any closer. I go for the loot because the barbarian I killed earlier, I'm assuming he got consumed by these three people, the ranger, the druid, and the barbarian. I don't take his copper lightfoots there, which is kind of a mistake, but you know, is what it is. We're just coming for PvP. We don't really care that much of the gear. Go back, get a couple more axes off this guy because there were a few left. And now I'm going back. I ended up in church here because I heard the people as I was moving back to pyramid. And this right here is the druid that from earlier, which I said I am pretty scared about. And then here's the barbarian. This is the other guy that was with him. And as you can see, this barbarian has had a bit of a kit upgrade since we last saw him. And I see him go hell, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's already, like, in my mind, that guy's already dead. Like, he's just saving gear. So I go up here to check on this druid. I'm trying to make sure he's not going to come red, because if I can keep him out of hell, then I know I get a one-on-one with the barbarian. Right now, the druid's like pretty much telling me, he's like, hey, go, he's like, go red, because he doesn't want me to come to the blues. So I'm like, all right, bet. I go red, and here I'll show you a couple pieces of the gear I picked up off the guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice. I'm like, there's this. So the best part is now, I'm like, this barbarian. So this barbarian didn't see me kill the other barbarian, I don't think. So I go down there and I'm like, this guy has no idea. I was like, this is just going to be a free kill and I'm just going to get all this gear. And I spawn bottom right, so I immediately run top left. If you don't know how spawns work in Hell, if there's only two people, most of the time they will get a diagonal spawn. So if you spawn bottom right, they'll spawn top left. If that doesn't happen, it's also possible for a vertical spawn, which I've only had happen a few times, where they spawn directly north of you, whatever room that is. But it's also possible if that happens, like, you know, so this guy wasn't here, but I know someone's down here. So I'm like, okay, this means there's probably two people down here. So there's probably a guy top right, where I'm going now to clear to, and there's probably a guy bottom left, because that's usually what it means. If no one spawned top left or top middle, that means there's, like I said, three people down here, and one of them's going to be top right, one of them's going to be bottom left, because that's just how hull spawns work. So, cleared that, moving over here. I think I'm going to clear out the bugs here. No, I'm fine. They weren't coming, they didn't aggro me coming closer. I peek in, I see this cleared, and he's like full cleared this whole thing. I'm looking around, trying to see if I can find the person, because I'm not sure who it is yet. And then, walking around, looking, and boom, there he is. The barbarian. And he's just kind of staring at me. I hit him with a crouching. Because, like I said, this guy never saw me kill that barbarian earlier. I don't think. Or if he did, he forgot because he lacks object permanence. But this guy now thinks I'm friendly. Because, you know, everybody else is friendly. And so I'm just going to pull a little bait on him. Dropping him stuff, you know, being nice here. He's asking me, he's like, hey, man, do you have any sellables? I'm like, oh, I don't have my VoIP on because I don't want people to recognize my voice because they do that. And I'm just like, I'm hitting him with the classic bait. Open the chest, point in the chest like I put something in for him. He opens it, and here we go. He pops roar. He's realized now that I am not friendly. I am not like all the others. And we get the kill. And this guy hit him with a little thumbs down just because we don't like teamers and solos. That's not very fun. Clear out this zombie, and then I will get all the loot off of this guy's body. And as it turns out, this guy did pick up like 80% of that barbarian's kit. He had almost every single piece that the ranger didn't have. Because, you know, the ranger only had, I believe, like the cap and one other piece. Whereas this guy, as you can see, the gloves, pants, chest, grimmies, boots, he had the whole kit and the weapon. And so, as you can see, like, I'm gonna, you know, just clearing up my inventory here to loot a bit so you guys can see the loot really quick. And yeah, there you go. You see, oh, nah, it's not really. kind of looting it pretty fast, so just give it a second. And I'll hover over a couple of the pieces, I'm pretty sure. You see, really nice boots on that guy. Move speed, dex, armor rating, heavy boots, those are really nice. The Ruby Silver Adventures and the Golden Gloves were okay, same with the Grimmies, they were nothing crazy. Ruby Silver Doublet was decent, the Brave Hunters were okay. And I'm just trying to like make room right now. Because the thing is, I know there's at least one more person down here, so I don't really want to drop on my meds just on the off chance I fight them, because there's still half the match left. There's no guarantee I get early blues, and there's no guarantee this person doesn't push me, so I'm kind of trying to like, what am I getting rid of here? And it's pretty hard to decide, but I end up dropping some meds here and there so I can pick up the guy's gear. And it's funny, I almost missed the Grim Smiles. I didn't even like pay attention to the fact that they were there, because I kind of thought they were sellables like the rest, and I see them like last second. And even the worst Grim Smiles are still worth a few hundred gold, so I do grab those. But then, other than that, slight gray Francisca to white Francisca, and yeah, that's gonna be it. That's and I was right. There was a ranger bottom left. It was one of the obviously not the ranger I killed, but it was a different one. But yeah, and that wraps it up. So yeah, little technically 1v4, but the druid left, so 1v3. That's how you got to deal with teamers and solos, because this right here, that is what solos looks like in the current meta. It's just a bunch of people being friendly AP farming, and if you try to fight any of them, they will all try to kill you. Honestly, I got kind of lucky in this game that they didn't kind of group up and hunt me down. That they like played really split apart, so I was kind of able to take them like off one by one. The ranger was kind of off for the barb and the druid. The barb went to hell alone. The first barbarian was like slightly apart, was killing the mob by himself. So I did get a little lucky in this game, but overall, it was a good game. Got some nice gear. The build worked pretty well. I didn't kill any wizards with it, but it was fast build with good DPS. So, yeah. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this style of video, feel free to let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.